on day release. Demon sub tries not to crease, and Demon's keeping nice and warm in bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the handyman is opening another can. Technical difficulties, they're really such a crime. Technical difficulties, they happen all the time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop time. Sometimes they're salty about the gaming biz, and nobody knows who Upworlder is. Technical difficulties, they're really such a crime. Technical difficulties, they happen all the time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop 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 time.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to everybody. How we doing? Welcome to the show, guys. Seems now, I've realised I saw somebody post in Discord. I couldn't get my Discord to work last night. It was having connection issues, which is why I didn't post the stream link like I normally do. It was like, you know, when you load Discord on a PC, you get that little whirly thing as it's doing its updates.
Was it doing updates?
Well, it just froze on the whirly thing. It was working fine on my phone, but I didn't have an easy way to copy and paste the link, and it was already late, and I thought, oh, for fuck's sake.
Fucking
so,
amateur hour. Fucking amateur hour.
You guys,
Amateur
you found your way here anyway, so it's, you know, it all worked out for the best. Why are we worrying?
Did they though?
So, yeah, hello. Hope we all had a good week, everyone. I've had a fucking hell of a day at work, but it's fucking, for those international viewers, it's Easter bank holiday here in the UK. Not that we fucking have any Christianity left in this country, but so it's like a double bank holiday. No work Friday, no work Monday, chaos in the fucking middle. It's just awful. So yeah, hopefully tonight will be a bit better than my day has been, which has been a
I've
little
just
bit.
realised this looks slightly inappropriate on camera.
What?
Well, I'm currently got a blue latex glove on, feeling between my legs, fishing stuff out of a jar of isopropyl alcohol.
Oh, fucking hell. I hadn't even noticed. The chat's probably going alive with it. Let's do the first job. Let's shout out who's in the house. So who have we got? We have Cheeseby. Hello to you, sir. We have Darren, also known as Demon Sub. Check him out on Instagram. We have, because of Ben Crispin, we have Upworlder, also known as Trevor from our local gaming club. We have Spam and Egg, that's David's other half. We have the awesome Tim, some dude on YouTube. Check him out. He's got his own YouTube channel where he stores his VODs from his live stream on Twitch every Tuesday at 8 PM, I want to say. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tim.
Yeah, but it's 8 PM European, isn't it?
No, I think it's 8 PM UK, but I could be wrong. I'm always watching television with my good lady wife, so I never see it. I only see the VODs when he uploads them to YouTube. I'm
What was
very
this
rarely
thing
in
say?
live, which is a shame. But that's the
If it
way the
looks like
cookie
he's checking
crumbles.
for an
We
ST.
have Pandy, Paul from Pandyman Entertainment, the purveyors of the fine Trench Offensive and Threat Level 0 miniature games. Check them out on the internet. We have Marty. Good evening, sir. So yeah, well, hello, one and all.
Oh,
It's
fuck.
9 p.m. Central Eastern Europe, 8 p.m. BST. Thank you, Tim. I thought it was right. 8 p.m. Jerry time. Oh,
Is that
dear.
how we're referring to GMT from now on?
Jerry yeah, I don't know what the M would be. Jerry moaning time.
Fuck! Alcohol plus cuts equals bad times, boys and
Oh
girls.
God, listen to him crying. So yeah.
Got resin
Good
on the
evening.
trousers and everything, and these are
Right.
nice going out trousers. Oh no!
Right, let's crack on. We've well, to be fair, we haven't really got a lot to cover, but let's crack on anyway, because you know what? Fuck it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to follow our usual format. David and I will show you what we're going to be working on, and then we'll talk about Gaming Club. We've got a couple of things to talk about off the internet this week. I'll be fair, I haven't really watched a lot of YouTube this week.
There's not a huge amount of
So
internet going on.
I haven't got an awful lot to report back on. But
Where is she?
we've got some stuff. We'll pad the time till about 9 o'clock when we'll talk about our main topic, which is the issue around, and this is specific to playing tabletop war games or tabletop games of any kind. It applies just as much to role players and board gamers. This business about when either the collecting drives the playing or the playing drives the collecting, because I think they're two very different dynamics, and there's a big personal story wound up in that, because David and I have really taken a left turn, and I'm enjoying this year because of it, and so that's what we're going to be talking about.
I love the fact that Crispin is translating for our singular American audience and referring to him in the plural.
Where's this? What?
Trousers is pants for you Americans.
You keep up the translations. Keep up the translations, Cheeseman. Good job, sir. Good job. Yeah, I did see your models,
I ought to turn off.
Trevor. Funnily enough, the game you're talking about will be featuring in the news, and I don't know if you're aware of it. So, do you want to go first, buddy?
Yeah, we can do.
Content
Come on
display.
down. Let's see what we're doing.
David,
it's all a bit of a shit show right now, boys and girls.
you've been ones and zerosing, haven't you? Again.
I've been ones and zerosing, and this ones and zerosing is basically my entire Frostgraves collection for the new campaign that's coming. So, in previous ones and zeros, we have Wizard, and Wizard looks good.
Where's that wizard from? Is that
Guild?
the Spanish? Oh, Artisan Guild. Your fallback position.
We have a very nice thug with a fucking huge rack. We have a barbarian. Her hands are currently still got shit on them, so
that is true, cheese me.
And then this is just what's left. So I've got myself a little bear. This is uncured resin.
A little bear what?
We've got you. You're the Ranger fur with Paul. You'll be happy to know a lot of right hands.
Oh my god, the luxury!
So many left hands last
the
time.
Luxury of right-handed fucking Ranger furs. These guys will be overjoyed.
But these are literally just fresh out of the wash. These were printed this morning. We've got an apprentice here. who's hooded and cowled. We have my trapper, who I'm really looking forward to painting up, because this bad boy has a lasso.
Ooh, nice.
My infantryman.
So you're going for an entirely new warband.
Entirely new warband and some really nice thief miniatures.
Those
This
are
is
cool.
Titanforge,
Those
as
are cool.
was the trapper.
I mean, these are not made obviously for Frostgrave, are they? They are just sort of like random other crap.
Generic AF fantasy.
Nice.
And then,
Oh my god, how did we get onto assless chaps? Do I even want to
because I'm
ask?
wearing my fancy pants and Sam was roasting me. But, boys and girls, we will be happy to report the dwarves are back on the table now that I've finished ones and zerosing, and we will be doing some more minors tonight. Shut up, internet. I've just realised what I've walked into.
Doing some more minors. Oh dear, how unfortunate. That's us demonetized. Hang on, what am I saying? Oh yeah, really good then. Nice
But
job.
these, Paul, you'll be happy to know, rank way better than the
Yeah,
fucking other guys.
Yeah, they do.
You were triggered last time.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, they are on 25s. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Oh, hello,
and
welcome
then
back, Darren. You've missed assless chaps, mate.
In ones and zeros land, I've also been printing rubber dinghies tonight.
Those are for. We've got a Stalingrad scenario 2. I think involves a river and the crossing thereof. Crossing. So no doubt they'll be for that. Yeah.
Go on.
That's fair, Darren. We could be responsible for your technical difficulties. We'll take that. You know, we can fuck up everything. Sort of, we've got like a gremlin curse that weaves through the internet, creating creating chaos everywhere it goes. Right, me.
What are you up to? You doing anything good?
Oh,
doing anything exciting?
Hang on, I've just realised I should show off my. I should show it off on stream. I did post it for the guys. First of all, let's share this. So what I'm going to be painting tonight, we're going to be working on these guys. I will get this fucking Batman board game to the table. God damn it! So I'm just got to paint shoes, shirt, crowbar, hat, beanie hat. There's some hair on the backs of the heads there. So
there's still a metric shitton then.
Yeah, they're all small bits, but it's going to take me all night probably to fiddle my way through those little pieces. I've got my colour selection here, so we're going to go dark tan for the deck tan rather for the shirt. Why is it freezing? What? Stop. It's a bloody phone. I've got deck tan for the shirt, obviously crowbar black. Duh. Well, what the colour am I going to do a crowbar? That's probably going to be the shoes and maybe the hair, saddle brown, maybe
crowbar. You could do ostentatiously red,
and then we're going to go yellow olive for the beanies. A nice sort of like neutral military green. The base is so obviously these are just board game miniatures, Crispin. Literally, I covered the because they come pre-molded on these disc bases. Covered it in PVA, slapped some sharp sand on it. Then when it was dry, primed everything from there. So the primer helps to seal in the basing material. Then I'll just do them as like a dry brushed asphalt.
No, like they will not be Santa coloured, Tim, because he painted his one and only Santa coloured mini this year, and he fucking regretted every second of it. You've
had fucking Santa this year. Stop it. So that's what I'm going to be working on. That's what I'm going to be working on tonight. Let me just go and get. I did show it on Discord, but I will go and get for everyone. I have finished my first 3D printed project. Back in a sec.
Ow, my eardrums. Anyway, boys and girls, what has everyone else been up to this week? Shout it out in chat. if you're hobbying with us tonight, yeah, it's been a week. I've been doing some ones and zerosing. I've been doing some interneting. Oh, I will actually give a shout out right now to Snarling Badger Studios and the Snarlcast podcast, who's been giving that a little listen with Uncle Atom, because that's some good content right there.
Yeah, and Vince. If you haven't listened to it yet, guys, for an audio only experience, it's actually quite a good podcast. I think that
it's good for the commute.
I
quite like listening to it on my commute.
I think they're intending to focus on game design ideas, which might not be like everybody's cup of tea, but if you are into that, then it's really good. So, it doesn't quite fit.
What the fuck, Ewok?
What's this?
It's going to be a fleshlight. I'm sorry, what?
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 Did someone say fleshlight? Right, okay. So, this is it. My very, very first 3D printed project I'm calling done. It didn't go perfectly. There is a little bit of warping, as we can see here. Look, the base.
There'll be some warpage.
The base isn't perfectly flat. I think I probably did it a bit too thin because I had to. Obviously,
it's a bit kinky.
I had to customize the model, because I mean that's what you do for your first project, isn't it? You don't do something off the peg. You actually customize it.
Hang on, Paul. This is Frostgrave. Where be thy snow?
Well, that is a very good question. So, we're playing this is all for the Wildwoods campaign for Frostgrave. Let me get the book. Oh, so I don't know if you guys.
Paul can take that, where you guys are insinuating he can take that. That is a talent.
Okay. So I don't even want to know where that conversation's going. So all of this stuff this is for the Sinking Mausoleum, which is scenario 1. Now the point
She's set in a bog, doesn't she?
Yeah, the point about the Wildwoods campaign supplement for Frostgrave is it takes us out of the classic terrain areas for Frostgrave, which is the actual city.
Yeah, it takes us out of the city into the wild woods and lands surrounding the city,
and
hence the name.
It basically, you're travelling further from the city to where the sort of like the glacier melted first, so this is less wintry than the other parts of Frostgrave. So
hang on, did you not though quote, sir, from the book verbatim that it is still in an eternal winter?
Yes. So basically, if you look at some of the artwork, see if I can show you a good example. So here's a good example. Let me put this on desk cam because it'll probably work a lot better. So
yes, it will, but you've got a fucking huge reflection on that.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll sort this out. So there is still some snow, but it's less wintry than before. And
it's patchy. It's a British winter, not a Scandinavian winter. Yeah. That's what that is right there.
Yeah,
it's a British winter.
We're Surrey, not Northern Canada. That's basically what's going on here. So do you know what? You guys give me your input. I was saying to David, I'm a bit torn because part of me wants to put some snow on it so that it really does lock it in as Frostgrave, even if it's just a sprinkling of something like the Woodland Scenics flake snow or something like that. But then another part of me wants to keep like it as a swamp terrain piece I can use for other games.
Could you use for a fantasy rank and flank, for example.
So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think I should just bite the bullet and just put snow on it and say fuck it, it goes in the Frostgrave connection?
Pandy's shouting at you because
Yeah.
you're not putting snow on it.
I know. Pandy is yet again going fucking super extreme. Basically, he wants me to cover it in toothpaste. Two. Oh my god. Ooh,
I mean, you did
Darren.
ask. You did ask.
Darren doesn't use any snow on any of his Frostgrave snake.
Controversial, Darren.
Is that because you can't be asked, Darren, or because you precisely do not want to lock your terrain into that look? That's interesting. Leave it as is when
Leave
playing.
it as is, and when playing Frostgrave, sprinkle some snow pop in it. Problem
Yeah,
is
that
there,
is. Yeah.
The problem is there because we play most of our Frostgrave at club.
Yeah, that's super messy.
It's a pain in the ass.
Now, one idea that David had was to create removable snow. And he found a couple of examples online of people who'd got like ideas for you know,
like saran wrap with snow on top.
Basically, yeah, making sort of like tufts, but they're like a layer of glue with snow flock on, and then you position them on top of other things.
I am going to say, Paul, we have done this before for Drowned Earth.
With what?
The fucking aquarium plants, dipshit.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I think I might try sort of like placeable snow patches. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you've only got to put a couple on the roof and it will sell it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You haven't got to go ham and snow the entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, bubble wrap's not going to cut the mustard, Trevor. It will also pop like fuck because I have ADHD.
I mean, yeah. Bubble wrap's not what you want. I mean, using something flexible like just cling film just to build some snow and glue pieces on is great because they'll peel off.
Oh, sir, genius idea.
Go on.
Wax paper.
Yeah.
And silicone, the clear silicone, as a backing material to make like some little pads.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because a lot of people do a similar thing with hot glue, don't they? They use hot glue as a basis.
Yeah.
And because it sets quite firm. Maybe that's a good idea. I could sort of like spread little puddles of silicone filler and then just splot snow on it. What about a cat? Needs to be on a hot rift. I don't even know where you're going with that, Cheesy. Cat on a hot tin.
Anyways,
so
Spam, are you in the bath?
That's the dilemma. So do we snow it? Do we not snow it? Or do we do some sort of like removable snow effect? If you guys
some short hair, white teddy bear fur.
I've just had a thought. Do you know one place I haven't looked is in the project system. Has anyone ever done removable snow in the project system on OTT? Or has Jerry ever covered it?
In tonight's episode of Man Shouts at Internet.
I'm just going to Google something. Just hang on a second here. What a bit. Removable.
Shit, I haven't started my timer.
Snow.
Oh well.
Removable snow miniature.
Why did we make such a bang? Well, why did Ewok make such a banger of a song to open the show with? Because I've now
Earworm.
got it stuck in
Earworm.
my head.
Yeah, I can't see anything. Doesn't mean there's nothing there. It just means I can't see it. Magnets, yeah.
Magnets, I think, is just a bit too much effort for what you
Tell
want.
you what,
isn't it?
that's not a bad shout. Cut up white carpet tiles. Some sort of... Or white felt. Just cut into random patches. That's not a bad shout, Damon, to be fair.
The carpet tiles I just don't think will sell because you've got
Yeah.
that fucking black edge.
Yeah, and you're probably going to get some weird texture. Just like plain white sheet felt like you use for making cuddly toys, you could cut that into flexible, irregular shapes, couldn't you?
Yeah.
It'd probably look better on the ground than it would do draped over buildings, to be fair. But it's a good shout for the ground.
Right, 10 minutes.
And you could probably get relatively large pieces. Christmas snow. Excuse me, what are you on about? Christmas snow. We never have snow at Christmas. This is the UK. Put Robson and Jerome on the roof. Oh my God. Cotton wool, says Darren. Cotton wool. Yeah, again, I suppose you could buy that pleated cotton that's like a sheet. Maybe mix that, sort of stodge that up with PVA.
Grab some ranges.
So that it's sort of semi-solid. There's a few options, isn't there?
Who are matron? Semi-solid. No, I wasn't letting that one pass me by.
No, we're not doing multiple roofs, removable, snow roof, not snow roof. We're not doing that.
I mean, that would really lean into your 3D printing.
Okay, Damon says, use a hot air gun to melt the surface texture, makes it less carpety, and then just white spray can it. Is that something you've actually done, Damon? Because you sound like you're talking from a point of experience there. That sounds pretty cool, actually. Stuck some sort of fabric as... Oh, that's Trevor. Yeah. I don't... You've seen Carry On movies, haven't you, David? Ooh, I think they're a bit... I think they're a bit surprised at a fucking millennial going, oh, matron. I don't know if that's just my fucking leading you astray. Anyway, shall we talk about club? That's got us derailed, that has, hasn't it? So, he did similar for Fields like Lloyd did. Yeah, I mean, Fields, David's done some spanking Fields. That spam, have you been talking to David? Because that's exactly what he found on his Reddit or wherever he was looking. What the hell is that noise?
My vibrator.
That was something, that was exactly what he found, where somebody was said, cover it with cling film, put the snow on so that it looks realistic, then just peel the fucking cling film off so that you can put it back on when you want. Which I thought sounded like a lot of fucking hassle, frankly. But there you go.
Yeah, but you're an old, crotchety man.
Why have you suddenly gone super loud? Have you clipped the gain on your fucking...
No.
Has he gone loud, everybody? Or is that just me and my defective ears? David suddenly seems like...
Anyway, dickhead, you're getting derailed.
Yeah. Normal volume. Oh no, he hasn't. Right. Okay. Anybody want to guess what I did? Club.
I know.
You're
sir,
not allowed to guess. Shut up.
I know.
So, for those of you who are regular viewers and those of you who are eagle-eyed, you might recognise some of that terrain. So, basically, myself and Alex did a game of Infinity using, yeah, well done, Darren, Infinity. So we played the new N5, which is the new edition of Infinity. And it's very like the old edition. I love it when companies put a new edition out and you literally just sort of like ease into it and it's no stress. I had to tweak some of my list building, but
Points have dropped a bit, ain't they?
basically the game just went it just went by the numbers. Now I did sort of stomp Alex a bit. It was a bit one-sided, the game, unfortunately, and I don't like one-sided games. I ended up winning 10-4, I think. But frankly, my dice were on fire and Alex's dice were shit. I mean, I literally rolled a critical success, which in Infinity is rolling exactly the number you need. So I think I was rolling one dice, 1d20, and Alex was rolling 3d20. And the only way that you can really win when somebody's rolling more dice than you is to crit. And 3 times, literally 3 consecutive rolls, I rolled exactly the number I needed to succeed.
To crit.
And
Some would argue loaded dice.
And it was like, oh, okay, now I feel bad. But it was, I tell you what, I really, 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 really enjoy Infinity. I can't, every time I play the game, I just think this game is so well designed. It's just beautiful. It's so elegant and it's atmospheric and it's just brilliant. It is really good. It is a bit fiddly and there's a lot to get your head around, but once you
crunchy.
Yeah, once you get your head around the sort of like the core gameplay loop, that how to work out how to manipulate the dice advantage to give you a good chance of doing what you need to do. It's such a good game. And the thing is as well, it's hugely cinematic as well. In defense of I saw that Peachy did do a video on Infinity. I didn't really watch it because I don't know. What was it like, Darren? Did he do it justice? I can't imagine Infinity's Peachy's sort of game from what I've seen of Peachy. I really can't imagine that Infinity is going to appeal to him because it's such a gnarly, crunchy game. He seems a much more narrative, casual sort of guy, but you never know, I guess.
You're drawing conclusions.
But yeah, fucking brilliant game. What Alex does a great job of is castling all his models up so that I have to pry everything apart and push my advantage in one direction, then change direction and come at the problem from somewhere else. But unfortunately, because he clustered everything up, he sort of failed to do the scenario, which involved him be a little bit more spread out. So, as I say, fantastic game. I know I say it every time we talk about Infinity, but if you haven't tried it and you're into sort of competitive, crunchy games, try Infinity. It's such a good game. What about you, mate? What did you do on Club Night?
I did some Frostgrave. So I was reintroducing Luke to 2nd edition Frostgrave because Luke hasn't played anything since 1st, which is an absolute fucking travesty. Built a new warband with him, played it in, what was it? Fucking 2 hours. Packed up, fucked off, went home.
Yeah, you had a short night, didn't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely
ball of game.
What did you do? Just one of the core books and core.
Well, yeah, core book we rolled.
Yep.
and we rolled the genie in a bottle.
Okay.
Which, bearing in mind magic weapons to harm genie,
Yes.
said to Luke, re-roll it. We got better. We got fucking so much better on the table. Treasure Phantasmal. So for those that don't know, 5 treasures. Central treasure's got a wraith next door to it. Wraith cannot be damaged unless it's magic. Will fucking maul you to death if you're within 6 inches. And if you end up in combat with him, good fucking luck, because he does double damage. All of the time.
So
I got mauled to death by a fucking 3 wraiths.
that's why your game was over in 2 hours, was it? You lost everything.
Pretty much, yeah. I gave the campaign guy one last spin, one last hurrah. Because for those that don't know, he died.
But he did save the world, mate. He did save the world.
He did save the world. I just gave him one last spin out. Tried my new list that I'm going with for Frostgrave, hence all of the printing as well. I'm kind of happy with it. It's not how I usually play. That's the biggest problem. So I've gone with 2 thugs, 2 thieves, an infantryman, a trapper, a barbarian, and an archer, not a crossbowman, which is fucking unheard of for me. And I'm not sure I like it. I don't like it.
Why? In what way?
Just couldn't seem to do shit. But I think that may have had something in part to do with the fact that it was wraiths.
Yeah, I think you're probably being unfair. I imagine being dogpiled by shit you can't even hurt was probably a large portion of why your game went south. You can sort of see how that would be a thing, being fair.
Yeah, I mean, the barbarian got fucking one-shotted. That's how fucking bad my game was, boys and girls.
But that's how fucking Frostgrave goes, isn't it? It's just like so...
Yeah, wraiths are fucking horrible, man.
The thing is, though, that's Frostgrave. You just basically like riding an out-of-control shopping trolley down a hill. It's like...
I said to Luke, I said, you watch, it'll be just as fucking bad, but we're not re-rolling it. Because I'm not just re-rolling it, because at this point we might as well pick.
Yeah.
And then we roll into that, and it's like, oh, fucking Jesus.
Pandy's saying that Peachy only plays or only covers the mainstream stuff. To be fair, at least he's broken away from Games Workshop. I do, you know. And I totally get it. Peter Pandy says, I stopped watching him after he ignored me at ChillCon, so I'm biased against him. Cancelled.
Pandy.
Oh dear. Truth's out now. That's it.
Anyway.
So yeah, that was Gaming Club. Sounds great, mate. I can't wait for the new campaign. You've done better than me to actually... Oh, you were encouraging me to run my old wizard again, though, weren't you?
Yeah, I think now you've saved the world from the Red King, you've got to run the same guys.
Right, that's fair, but I'm not... I'm just going to run the warband of scrubs. Anybody that survived, I'm going to have to buy my apprentice from scratch. So I need.
Yeah, but you'll buy your apprentice at whatever fucking stupid level your wizard is now.
I know, but I still need 300 gold to do it, and I'm not sure I have. To be honest.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh no, you did. You
did.
Because you just got 300 gold just after scenario 7 when you could no longer buy shit, didn't you?
Oh, that might be all right then. If I can buy a new apprentice, that should work okay. But yeah, looking forward to that. It's going to be good fun. Shall we do some news?
It's the part of the show that we have come to know as the latest salty blizzard of nerdy sorrow. More news than you can shake the soul tax.
Right, let's get into the news. Do you know what, actually? Fuck. I was going to message, if anybody hasn't seen it, god damn it, I'm going to quickly add it to the news, because how did I forget that?
I have news.
Hang on a
I
minute.
have news.
Go on, hang on.
I'm going to make people jealous with fucking envy now.
This one.
I got 104 quid's worth of Warlord stuff for £68, boys and girls.
What?
Rattenkrieg starter set.
Yes. Yeah.
Down to £68 because somebody's fire sailing it brand new in box.
Let's see if I can
Don't
find
mind
it.
if I do. I'll take that. And it's not a new game before you all start.
Yeah, no, it doesn't count. Yeah, we've got a guy, one of the local guys, is selling off a ton of stuff for cheaps. Mostly Warlord stuff. I don't know if he's some sort of stockist or distributor or what, but I've picked up a couple of rule books. I've picked up the German Army's book and the reworked Bolt Action Compendium for 3rd edition.
Nice.
For 30 quid for the two, which I was like, fine, yeah, sounds reasonable. So David went and bought the Rattenberger German Starter Army.
German Starter Army, yeah.
Yep. So let's get on to the news. So in the world of the internet, then let's see what's going on here. Ta-da! There he is. It's Paul. So obviously the big news that we didn't cover is that Salute was weekend just gone.
I was going to say, was there something on at the weekend? Did I miss something? Was I living under a rock?
Apparently, yes. Rattenkrieg, that's it. Or I think it's Rettenkrieg, because it's got an umlaut on it. Tim will correct us if we're wrong. It's his mother tongue, at least. It looks really cool, actually. David's going to be using it to build a force for Market Garden. So just some standard here units and that sort of thing. So on Tabletop did a 2-hour. It's nice that they did this. Often when on Tabletop do events, they'll blog or vlog all day, and they'll shoot these little 5-minute, 7-minute video clips, and then they'll post them to their website in like a vlog. So they'll scroll up, and like they do it for UK Games Expo as well. And bless them, it's fine, but I just wanted somebody to just put them all in one massive fucking endless video so that I could just press play and have it run it. And they did it. They did it for Salute. So this 2-hour and the rest of it epic is basically just lots of little product, sort of like talk to product producers and people running demonstration tables and loads of other shit. So it's basically the potted Salute experience. So if you didn't go and you missed it, go and watch this video. If you really can't, if a 2-hour video is like, no, I can't do that, go to the On Tabletop website. There is a there's a blog page for the event, and you can watch the individual clips if you only want to do it that way, but fucking hell, hard mode. If not, go to YouTube, watch this. Fucking great. So yes, this definitely deserves a shout out. Obviously, I'm preaching to the choir here because all of us guys are already part of the On Tabletop community. But if you're not, go and watch this video, then go to ontabletop.com and join, because it's a great group of guys, and they cover everything: board games, card games, miniature war games,
I need to
the whole
use it
fucking
more.
lot. So this is very well worth a watch. What else have we got here? Now then, Trevor, Malifaux 4th edition is coming out. So, obviously we've just been talking about Infinity's N5, 5th edition.
Bolt actions not long had 3rd edition.
Yeah, look at what do they call it now? The whatever the backstagery used to be called. Otters. It is honestly, guys, it's ridiculously good value. You get your very own Sunday show, and other sort of like locked video content. I think some of the painting stuff.
And you too, as Damon says here, can sponsor an old Northern Irishman for £3 a month.
Yeah, we could buy Jerry.
Love you, Jerry, if you're watching this.
We could buy Jerry Guinness for £3 a month. But yeah, do you know what? It's one of those things that I've never regretted becoming a backstager with the On Tabletop crew. Anyway, let's back to Malifaux. So obviously, Upworlders like, yeah. Now then, don't panic, everybody. As we were just talking about Corvus Belli managing the transition to N4, I am really, really impressed with Weird and their approach to the implementation of Malifaux 4th edition. Okay, don't panic, Trevor. Just don't panic. Okay. Basically, Weird have gone to their content creator community, and it looks like they've basically given them a brief to produce a bit of a news article about something specific affecting 4th edition. The other thing is they're actually having a beta test period from April the 29th, I think it is. Right.
I thought you said 21st.
Let me go back.
Next week.
Let me go back. April the 21st. David's right. So the game version 4th edition enters an open beta on April the 21st. So the rules will go up for free. Then they're gonna basically take community feedback, and they're hoping to get it finalized by the Gen Con event, which I think is about 2 or 3 months later. I think it's August. So they've also, as I said, given all of their content creators a brief. So this video here, the brief they were given was, we want you to explain to everybody who plays Malifaux already that even though they are removing models from their product line, because again, it's the give
the bush a trim while you're doing a
re-edition. You cannot just keep adding new products to a product line and then keep it all in stock, keep making it all. So they will
you can if your daddy G-dub.
Well, no, even GW can't do it. And it, if it upsets you, you're not being realistic. No company can keep releasing products, even if they only release one product a month. There is going to come a point where that company has to cull its range. But do you know what they've done? They've basically said, when this goes, it will become an official proxy for this. So they've literally preempted everything and said, this model, the cards for it are going, the stats for it are going, but you just proxy it as this model now. So no models were harmed in the updating of this edition. Okay, it doesn't matter. Any established player will get Night Cheese Me, will be able to just play with their old toys. no problem. There's loads of videos out there. They're coming out every 2 or 3 days. I watched one yesterday which was explaining about some of the changes to the keywords. Some models are moving from one faction to another. Some models are changing to versatile. Blah, blah, blah. There's a whole lot of shit going on. So if you're into your Malifaux, start checking the weird website for all updates.
Here's a side question for you, my friend.
Yes.
Because I do believe we have got some Malifaux planned for our next game day.
Yes.
That we have booked.
Yes.
Do you want to give 4th edition a spin?
If the beta rules are out, yeah, I'll have a look at it, mate.
It'll be after the 21st of April, so yes.
Yeah. I'll when we play, if I can get hold of the beta rules, I'll have a look at them, and if I think it's easy, we'll do that instead. I'm not expecting them to change a shit ton of the core game rules. I'm expecting probably more of the changes will be updates to the cards for the models, but for anybody who doesn't know, they're all free already. So Weird maintain an online repository which you can access through their website. You can print all of your cards off. They
don't they have like a little app as well?
There is a very good app currently on the store on both Apple and Android. I'm imagining that's going to be updated, all completely free. You can build lists, you can play games virtually, like you can join up with you can play a game with another person who's got their army list on their phone. It'll sync everything. You can track wounds, points, activations, all on the app. It's just brilliant. They're really good companies. They're really good at supporting their game. Their approach to their edition update looks fucking bang on. So impressed with the way that they're executing this. Some people in the gaming space should take a fucking good long hard look at the way they do things. Because
are you gonna just name drop them here, or
no,
shall I?
No, I'm not gonna. No, I'm just gonna leave that hanging. Tim, Legion isn't dead. What no fire sale? Quick, we need a new hashtag. What no Legion fire sale? Oh, Cheese Me's gone. God damn it.
Cheese Me, when you're watching this later, comment please.
Yeah, when you're watching it back, we need a new hashtag. So there has been this awful rumor going around for forever now that
the Legion is dead.
Star Wars Legion was going the way of the dodo. It turns out it's all fucking lies. It's
a phoenix. It's rised from the ashes. New edition.
It
new
has
content
coming. There's a fan there. Basically, check out Atomic Mass Games. They've got loads of info on it. Basically, the whole thing looks like it's getting a redesign from the ground up. They're reboxing a lot of stuff, restatting a lot of stuff, rebalancing a lot of stuff. They're coming out with new army boxes. Oh, it's all change. And do you know what? I'm quite chuffed because I never
Don't
got.
You own some Legion?
I do own a bit, and I've never really played it. And I'll be brutally honest, I want to do this Star Wars like this more than I want to do what's the other one called? Star Wars Crisis Protocol. Shatterpoint.
Yeah.
Shatterpoint doesn't appeal to me anywhere near as much as this does. This is just a classic miniatures war game. With units and characters.
Don't worry, Darren's got us covered for the hashtag What No Fire Sale.
Brilliant. So yeah, fucking hell. And as I say, I am genuinely chuffed to bits. As I say, if there's a,
I need some cider.
I want to, if I'm going to explore the Star Wars universe, it wants to be this scale or smaller. By that I mean as in bigger armies, bigger battles, but smaller scale of miniatures. I
Yeah.
don't see the small squad thing doesn't do anything for me. So Tim is our resident Star Wars expert. He's saying they've killed Palpatine and the Royal Guard. There is a petition to bring them back. Fun fact: Asmodee has
Asmodee
halted all
Germany
production.
has halted all production for German versions of Marvel
Ooh.
Crisis Protocol and Star Wars Shatterpoint.
Okay.
Pray tell, Tim.
Why is
Any
that?
reasons given?
Because now that's interesting, Tim.
Oh,
Oh,
only available in English, French, and Spanish.
well, do you know who I blame? Do you know whose fault that is? That's because I thought I was going to be generous because I know the Germans do love their wargaming, and I was thinking, well, that serves you right for being accommodating and playing it in bloody English. But genuinely, are you being genuine? Nobody plays those games in Germany. I'm surprised at that.
I find it hard to believe.
It does seem a bit odd. Marvel Crisis Protocol is actually quite a good game. See, this
But
is
yes, we have new releases slated for Q1 2026.
Oh.
There are no Marvel's Crisis Protocol tournaments for 2025.
5 for Shatterpoint and 25 for Legion. There you go. There you go. Fucking from the German correspondent there, Tim. we have the
Our man on the ground.
we have the picture from Germany.
Our roving reporter.
You see, this addresses something interesting here. I'm just going to chuck it in. We've got 5 minutes to go before we need to get into the main topic. I've tried Shatterpoint. It's fine. The problem with Shatterpoint is I know everybody takes the piss and says that it's basically Star Wars Crisis Protocol, but that is precisely the problem. When I played Marvel Crisis Protocol up in Scotland, it felt like superheroes battling superheroes. The abilities were crazy. The way that you built up and spent your energy to achieve your cool pseudo magical effects, it made perfect sense, and the game felt like what it was. When I played Shatterpoint, it felt exactly like that, except these aren't superheroes. They're just dudes with guns.
Can I make a better naming suggestion now for Marvel Crisis Protocol and Star Wars, or whatever the fuck both of them are calling? Yeah. We just call them Disney Crisis Protocol. Because that's what's happened here. Disney got the license, and now it's all a little bit smorgasbordy and the same.
I just think that Atomic Mass tried to extend the game mechanisms to a license that it didn't really suit. The scale thing makes perfect sense, Tim, because one of the reasons that even though I enjoyed Marvel Crisis Protocol, one of the reasons I've really reluctant to buy into it is that all the fucking terrain's like fucking way upscale, and I've got to have a complete collection of something unique. I can't use my 28mm Batman terrain, even though it sort of fits that urban superhero look, because everything's fucking teeny tiny compared to the honking miniatures. It's like, why? Fuck off.
Have we got a minute before?
Oh, that's a shout.
Do main topic o'clock.
Tim, don't play Shatterpoint, man. Shatterpoint doesn't. I mean, this is just
I'll
my
tell you,
humble
other
opinion,
pushback
but
for
it doesn't
Shatterpoint.
fit. It doesn't
Other
make
po-
sense.
Other pushback, and this came up at club on Monday, didn't it? That the lads came, two of the lads at club, Rich's lads, came to play Shatterpoint, but they didn't have the Shatterpoint dice.
I didn't realise that. Bless them.
Yeah, that's why. That's why they were salty.
It's gotta hurt. God damn it.
Come here,
Yeah.
just go down to my desk cam, dude.
Yeah. Don't play Shatterpoint with fucking, where are we? Web browser. David. Boop.
Look at that cloak.
That's quite nice, mate. What colour's that? Are we?
Space Wolves grey.
Is that a contrast?
Yes, it is.
It's actually quite a good grey, to be fair. I actually
it's
wanted a Space Wolf army for ages.
It's a nice grey blue.
So yeah. That's worked out quite well. That's almost like we know what we're doing, because that was all of the news. Like I say.
No, it isn't all of the news.
Oh God.
Come off my desk cam a minute so I can rant at you about not doing the news.
Look at that. How unprofessional. He's just pitched his mobile sideways while it's still live on the internet. Oh my God, he's such an amateur.
Fucking quicker.
Fucking amateur. Right, come on then. We're all waiting.
I sent you a link to talk about.
Where is it?
From the guys down under. On Wednesday at 22 minutes past 6 in the morning. And literally titled it, For the News.
Where is it? Where is it?
Fucking Facebook Messenger.
Wednesday.
Printable Scenery are doing a new campaign.
Oh, for the news. Yeah, I got it. Actually.
What's
fuck
it
off.
called? I can't remember what
it's
it's called.
Is it only on Facebook?
I think so. Throne and Ash.
Copy.
It's the ultimate 3D printable castle building system with walls and portcullises.
Actually,
and keeps and towers. It does look nice. It does look like a good idea.
Just let me see if I can share this with the internet. Just hang on. Because actually, I would like to know what you have to say about this. Just hold your horses.
Fucking amateur here going, no, we've done all the news.
Shut up.
Actually, I want to hear you rant about this.
To be fair, I did look at it as well. I thought, I thought.
My hobby is now waiting for glue to dry. My current hobby is waiting for Paul to be a proper news presenter. So we're in the same boat, Darren. Could be a while.
Hang on a minute. Right, lock that. Turn that off. Turn that off. Shuffle that across. There you go. So it's live on the internet. Let me see if I can play this video now. I've got it there for everybody.
Just a paint, Trevor. So, Throne and Ash, 3D printable, clippy, locky system for it.
Let me go back to the beginning.
It's $90 for all 3 bundles. You get a load of different wall segments. As they get more backers, they're unlocking more shit.
So this is live. Is this live on Kickstarter?
Live. Can't remember whether it's Kickstarter or whether it's through their own website.
Okay, right.
But it's really nice here, and the video that there's a slight delay on this, but how everything sort of slots together and links together with the footprints that they've designed.
Yeah.
Really fucking genius idea. Absolutely gorgeous. Fuck me, does it look like a lot of work though? Does it look like a lot of fucking work?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was going to ask you. It does look smart, and for a modular castle wall system, the thing is, there's a billion of these fucking things in existence already. This one looks like an okay one. The problem is, how
many hours are you going to have to sit there watching your printer, then do all of the painting for
the painting, depending, I mean, obviously they've done it mega fucking hard mode with about 50 different colours, but I don't think you need to go quite so bonkers. I do think the work is going to be huge. But my problem with this is this, right? These sort of castle kits, they don't make good things to play games with. They make great backdrops, but they're shit to play with. Because,
Again, it's nice to do a siege scenario every once in a while.
yeah.
But it's exactly that. It's once in a while. You're going to spend hundreds of hours to
I
do
would be
this.
much more interested in a small collection of like 8 or 12 beautifully designed individual prints that I can just set on a table. Do you know what I mean?
Do you want to know where I think they're missing a trick here?
Go on.
Yes, these modular castle walls are nice and printable scenery. If you're watching this later, just say thank you and credit me afterwards. This is lovely. And the King and Country stuff that I backed with the walls for my 15mm Flames of War.
See, that linear terrain stuff is much more useful than this.
Lovely. But why don't you do this locking system on the smaller scale dry stone walls? Where we can then have a nice setup that links all together. The walls are only, say, 1 inch to 3 inches high in various states. Maybe even do some little gates that we can fucking clip in, you know, really lean into that modular aesthetic than do this. Because this is thousands of hours of work, both printing, painting, and doing it for very few hours on the tabletop. It's gorgeous, don't get me wrong.
I mean,
absolutely love your stuff, absolutely love the paint job on this, but fuck me, is that unachievable for most guys, and it's not overly useful as a terrain collection.
No. Again, if you're somebody who if you owned a photographic studio and were like literally photographing professional models for illustrations in books and shit, fantastic resource. But for a game player, too much work for what is going to be a glorified backdrop in 90% of your games. Plus the fact Darren makes a great point, Renedra do a much more basic bitch, way less flexible and detailed plastic castle kit, but it's not a huge amount of money. And if you really want to own something like this, it's fine.
Well, I'll tell you where the only place that I can think this would come in really nice is Mordheim or Frostgrave, where you're playing inside a city and you could climb up on the city walls and run round and have some different elevations within your mat and that kind of thing. That's the only way I could see this getting more regular use.
But
it's still a lot of effort for it.
But that's the point. I get exactly that versatility and gaming flexibility out of a single old copy of the polystyrene Mighty Fortress that Games Workshop produced in the early 90s or late 80s. And it's literally 6 wall sections and 4 towers, and I'm done.
Yeah.
And nothing's modular. It's all right angles or nothing, and it works fine. It's just fine. And
again, they've taken a lot of effort with this. It's on like a hex grid system.
Yeah.
It's nice, but again, why are we not doing this on smaller stuff, printable scenery?
Yeah, that is a good shout.
Goodbye, said my piece.
I mean, again, not only that, go back and retrofit some of your STL designs. If you've come up with a nice new scheme, or if you've come up with a good engineered solution, retrofit it to all of your linear shit. Darren says for Frostgrave he has some old Pegasus Hobbies Gothic sets. Do you know what? Pegasus Hobbies were a great company, and they had some great bits and pieces. I'm assuming they're bust because you never see their stuff now. which is a shame because they had some lovely pre-finished bits. I've got a wizard's tower that came pre-painted for Pegasus. It's fucking great.
What am I doing now?
Right, should we get into the main topic?
I mean, what came first?
What came first? Do you know what? This is the audience participation moment. Okay, so when we were thinking about this main topic, this has been on our little list for a while. What we'd got on our list was playing versus collecting games, and we also had an entry. What was the other one? The one about buying new shit stops you using the shit you've already got. Okay, and we were chewing the fat. Darren says now sure about them now, but I've had them for years. Used them for 40k. Oh, they Pegasus stuff.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this topic, and we realised that actually this sort of encapsulates an experience or something that we've tried to take on board this year. So for anybody who's new and doesn't know, David and I have made the commitment this year to get into no new game systems. So we're not going to buy any new rule sets or get into any new products. We're going to spend our time and energy consolidating the game systems we already own and maybe playing some of the things that we've bought but never physically used. And this is exactly where we come to the topic of tonight's show, which is, when you buy all these games and then never play them, you're effectively just accumulating collectibles. The fact that they're games is immaterial. They could be fucking action figures or statues or oh, thanks Ewok. Ewok says he sent us a link to a cheaper castle system on Discord. I'll check it out, mate. Yeah. When you don't play the games that you own, you're just collecting them, right? So
I mean, again, we both of us this year have made a real conscious effort. Like, so far this year, I've done some of that Mutant Year Zero. I've been working away on my Warcry because I've not got that to the table in forever. I'm now working on a new rank and flank army, and that's now sort of taken a preference. But again, for how many years, boys and girls, have I been saying, oh, I want to play rank and flank, I want to get into that, etc. This is the year that I finally pulled the trigger on it.
Well, and in defence to you, we have played test games of Hobgoblin, Oathmark, Warhammer, Kings of War. So we've already played 4 test games last year in preparation for you doing this project. So this project isn't new. This has already had nearly 6 months of work put into it. The only bit that's new is printing and painting the models. In fairness, isn't that right?
Yeah, that is right.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing that occurred to me when we were talking about this was, if you look at the way David and I have been over the last 2 or 3 years, we've been quite involved in like the hobby news cycle, haven't we, mate? We've been going to a lot more shows.
Also, forgot to mention Moonstone.
What about it?
Because Moonstone is a new game that we've started playing this year, isn't it?
Yeah, but again, it's something that we'd owned, and it was basically a dust magnet, and we were like, tell you what, we should actually play this now that we fucking bought it. But what was I saying? So like if
Shows,
you look
cycle.
at the last couple of years, David and I have had what I would think is a fairly normal hobby experience. I just break open my Dungeon Saga Origins to paint, trying to run a game. Yeah, Crispin says he collects and rarely plays. Do you know what, Crispin? I'm gonna go out there and say that our hobby, I think, is largely people who are more collector than player. And David and I have been there. It's like I'm trying to say, over the last couple of years, we've been immersed in the news cycle. We go to the shows. We're constantly, ooh, that looks good. Ooh, that looks cool. Ooh, that looks good. So over a period of like 2.5 years, we've not counted it, but we must have.
I was going to say, go longer than that, because even before you went to Scotland, we went up to Diceni and
That's
Hereward
true.
locally, and again
Jesus,
we got
when did we buy Drowned Earth?
etc.
Yeah, it must be even longer than that. So forget what I've just said. Double it. 5 years. We've basically been, and we've not counted them up, but we must have invested cash, either one of us or both of us, in 20 game systems, miniatures, rules, the fucking lot, and they've never seen table time. And that was the cycle that we were locked into. Buy and put to one side to be enjoyed later. Buy, set to one side to be enjoyed later. Very rarely were we closing that hobby loop where you purchase the product.
Flames of War was probably the last one for me that I did.
Yep.
Where I bought it cheap at the show. You played it with me, didn't you? So
Yep.
you got sort of halfway there. And because it wasn't for you, you've posted it and abandoned it. But because I quite enjoy the game,
Yeah,
I've pushed through. Virtually everything is painted other than my troops. I've done an entire table for it.
Yeah.
Because of the scale thing and the fact that I've literally I've had no other option than to do the table. And that's been the last game, like I say, that I've.
Okay, before Flames of War, what was the last one before that?
There was Wild West Exodus. I think
Wild West
was
Exodus we've never played.
No, but as in that's what
I'm
I mean.
talking about.
I mean?
I'm talking about take Flames of War. Let's let ourselves off. We did complete the hobby loop. I assembled all of my stuff. I only painted a fraction of it, but I assembled it all. We played 2 games. And you played more with different people.
Yes.
But you and I have played 2 games. So let's give ourselves a brownie point and say technically we completed the hobby loop on Flames of War. What was the game before that we did complete the hobby loop?
That's a toughie.
I think it was Carnivale. And I don't.
Does Carnivale count though? Because you've still got terrain, I've still got terrain.
No, but we completed the loop.
True.
Do you see what I'm saying?
We've played some games, we've enjoyed some games, etc. We haven't just got it and fucking left it.
I mean, I'm not saying that we've achieved completion and painted everything and played with everything, but at least we got somewhere, at least we swung around the loop and got a game out of it. Look at all the stuff where we've never done that.
Drop Zone is another one that we've done. Where we've got through the loop.
Yeah, but look at the ones that we've only just done this year. You and I have still never done Burrows. You and I only did Moonstone.
Can I just attack you here?
What?
Mythos.
Mythos.
Silver Bayonet.
Ghost
Archipelago. Wild West Exodus.
Keep going. You're on a roll.
Mutant Zone was Zero.
Mutant Year Zero.
bolt action for me.
Yeah,
I
Bolt,
know
you again. Yeah, it's like I think what Crispin's just said, which is he's more of a collector and not much of a gamer. I think that is what most of us are. And it's an interesting question.
Yeah, because again, you always say that you are a
player first.
Player more than a collector, and again, you feel very
That's
bad if you
to be
turn
fair,
up
that's
to
not
a
true.
table.
To be
No,
fair, that's not
but
true.
you feel...
I say I'm a player more than a painter. Because I'm normally saying it in the context of, Paul, why are you doing really basic bitch paint jobs that a 3-year-old could do? And I'm like, because I like playing games and I don't like playing painting miniatures. But I'm not saying that you're entirely wrong. I'm just trying to leap to my own defense and say, actually, it tends to be, I say that more in the context of painting. But I think it's a fair criticism to say to myself, am I a player? Or am I just a bloke who buys shit and then leaves it to gather dust? You know, it's like, Saga? Fucking...
Now, you've not owned Saga for 12 months yet.
No.
So you're doing okay.
Star Wars Legion? Anybody?
We gloss, we pour. I hope you've got like 5 litres of gloss on order. The amount that we're going to pour over this subject matter tonight.
I mean, Darren, the thing is, Darren says, I've collected and painted whole enemy tables for 5 leagues from the Borderlands and I've yet to put them on table. And that's the point, Darren, isn't it? Because at that point, are you a war gamer or are you a collector of miniatures? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
The purveyor of the finest miniatures in Northumberland.
You know, and the other thing that occurred to me was when we were talking about this was there's sort of a cause and effect here. So, like, in a way,
we haven't helped ourselves by buying more shit, have we?
No, when you're locked in this cycle of gotta buy the new shiny, gotta get the new shiny, gotta play the new shiny. What I thought was, and you guys can give me your opinion and correct me if I'm wrong. See, I'll come back to Trevor's comment because Trevor's a good example of somebody who's entered the hobby and sort of like he's maintained quite a lot of restraint. He's been very slow to throw himself in.
I was about to say something a second. Spam, are you still in chat? If you are, I am about to attack you. Just saying. So please announce your presence before I absolutely roast you.
That's another one. I've got a shit ton of Song of Ice and Fire I've never fucking played, but we'll gloss over that. Let's go back to the point I was trying to make. When you're in the cycle of acquisition, so you buy the new shiny, and it's a 2-player starter set or whatever, then that you would think that would drive your playing and your gaming.
Well, yeah, Luke's just attacked me here. Toasty's arrived in chat. Luke from our local
Hello,
club.
Toasty. That's Luke from our local club. He's a collector by circus, as David hooks me on his latest hit. Marty says FOMO's the killer. And to be fair, in a broader sense, Marty, I agree with you. I think the problem is that this is another one we're going to come to. So, like, let's talk about Trevor's comment. So Trevor was saying about Trevor's always been quite restrained when he's only entered the hobby at a very slow pace. So he hasn't bought a shit ton of models. He doesn't have a massive pile of unpainted stuff. In fact, totally the opposite. He gets a kit. And he is getting some momentum behind him now, but he was very reluctant to get into the cycle of buy, build, paint, play. And do you know what? I hope he hangs on to some of that because it's just so easy to
again,
slide into the morass.
Spam started with the best of intentions, bought Song of Ice and Fire because it was her go-to. Now has that plus Armada plus a pile of grey resin that will soon be becoming a Frostgrave warband stacking up. Tim, you pipe down. We had this discussion last week. You probably weren't here. Assassin's Creed is parked because Paul is back from Scotland and Paul's made more effort than I have.
It's hard to play with unpainted minis, says Crispin. Do you know what? That's an individual thing. I agree with you, Crispin. I hate it now, but that's a time of life thing.
To it, particularly if I'm just picking up or learning a game. I'm really not averse to it.
I mean, Damon just made a point there saying we're quite lucky because at least we attend a regular gaming club. And you're dead right, mate. Not only do we have a regular weekly club, but we also get together probably twice a month at least and game together. So we have more opportunity than most to play war games. But the thing is, what we've done this year with actually saying no new stuff, no to anything, out of the box. It's made us focus on what we already have. And for me, the dynamic has now shifted, okay? Because now what I'm playing is driving what I'm collecting or buying. A great example is Frostgrave, right? Because of the Frostgrave campaign, I have got myself some great new terrain pieces specifically for use with that. David's painted or printed me monsters specifically for use with that. The fact that I'm now doing more Frostgrave, it's feeding momentum in Frostgrave. I'm not sort of like play game A, job done. Let's play game B, job done.
And again, we're trying to not proxy miniatures. We're trying to be organized and have the content that we need. Yes, like we played the tent scenario the other month in the Red King campaign. And yes, the tent wasn't finished. The tent was still grey.
Yeah.
But it was at least a tent for us to play with and have some immersion there without breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, and
again, Paul sort of hit the nail on the head here. Like, I bought all these dwarf minis last year. Just because they were an STL doesn't mean that they didn't exist. It's just that I finally got round to it and pulled the trigger on it, particularly with my new printer, making me way more efficient than I ever used to be. That I've started smashing into stuff this year. Again, as Paul will attest to, me smashing into Frostgrave stuff for him, as he's already mentioned, the custom stuff for the scenarios.
I was just about to make that point, mate. Motivation. The motivation that I've found this year to get stuff done, I don't think it's a coincidence that David and I have adopted this new dynamic where we let our playing, the games that we play, drive our collecting and our acquisitions. I think it gives you much more momentum and much more impetus to get stuff painted. And
no, babe, I was just using you as an example. That's all.
Anyway, you can just blame him. Because you can say, well, before I met you, I didn't own any miniatures. So it's your fault.
What, like Toasty did? Fucking thanks. I'm just a dealer now. Jesus fucking H Christ.
I'm just saying.
I tell you where this comes from as well. So, for those of you that have been here a while, you were aware of our hobby resolution on our sort of off the cuff one we made last year that we were only going to work on terrain on stream sessions.
Yeah.
And whilst that worked, I don't know about you, Paul, and I don't necessarily want to put words in your mouth here, but I got to August and I was like, I'm fucking sick to death of this.
Yes,
I just
I
want to
agree,
fucking
mate.
give
I
up.
agree.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just fucking relentless and it seems to never end. At least this year with saying, well, we're not buying anything new and we're going to just paint what we've got.
Yeah.
I can go where the passion takes me.
Yeah.
I can do some Warcry miniatures. I can do some Warcry terrain. I can do my Dwarf army. I can swap into these Bloodfield miniatures that I've got. Again, Bloodfields, 3D printed game I've had since before COVID. I had my first demo game last year with Paul at Expo. What the fuck am I doing with my life?
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is like, I totally echo what you're saying about the terrain thing. I did get some terrain started. I started on my Carnivale stuff. I did some bolt action barbed wire bits, still here, unfinished, if anyone's interested. But I didn't get anything over the line. And I didn't get anything over the line because there was no motivation other than just paint some terrain. There was no sense to it. Whereas now, I play a game and it's like, fuck, I really enjoyed that. What's the next scenario? Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we need this, we need that, and I totally get that this is going to be different for everybody. There are some people who might only play war games twice a year because that's their social life. They don't have any. Their best mate that they game with lives 500 miles away. You only meet twice a year. There'll be all sorts of scenarios.
I mean, again, COVID and you moving to Scotland was a huge mood killer.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge. Don't get me wrong. Still had my club. Still had my games on Monday. Still had Trevor and Luke and... Okay, Alex wasn't about at that point. But you know what I mean. I still had guys to play with.
Yeah.
That was what I was doing. That's what I was enjoying. But I didn't necessarily have the same energy that I do now. And I think this is something that's worth saying between the two of us. We do bounce off each other and drive each other's motivation quite a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the way things go. I think because I had quite a strong connection with Patrick in Butte, and it was exactly the same thing. It was what kept me hobbying, because without Patrick, I'd have done nothing. I'd have been playing computer games for 2 years. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah.
Because, like you say, us being hundreds of miles apart was a total fucking downer. And
again, that's why we resorted to Sunday night salts we had, and the magic sessions that we had, etc., online.
The thing is, we've got so much common shared interest. We like the same sort of games. We even like those games for the same sort of reasons. We think about playing games in the same way, and that drives us and motivates us to sort of like push. I think we both struggle with the hobby probably for the same reasons as well, which is why we push each other so effectively, because we sort of understand each other in that way, don't you think?
Yeah, that is a huge thing. And again, Frostgrave's actually quite a prime example of this, where I'm doing some of the lifting, you're doing some of the lifting, and between both of us doing the lifting, we're getting to a good experience. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
I think...
But I think...
This is why my Drop Zone project has stopped.
I think you're right.
This is me just saying out of turn, because it's not really getting played, it's not really getting driven on, and it's all on me to do the terrain because I have it all. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's why it's parked, it's why it's crashed. It's a similar way that you've parked some of your Carnivale.
I was just about to draw that analogy. It's exactly the same, because it's so one-sided. We're not sharing it, and then there's no backwards and forwards. And to be fair, do you know what we should do? We should learn from this, and we should strategize our terrain projects where we do both pile into
Yeah.
something. We need to look at the way we do that, but that's for another day. Do you know what I had? Here's a fucking hot take. You guys who are like on tabletop regulars will know this. Do you remember the Sunday show that Jerry and Ben and probably John did about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think it was, and they were on about the golden age of gaming, and they were talking about when gaming was best for them. I just had a bit of a thought. I think that this topic is actually related to their experiences and a lot of other people's experiences. When I reflect upon what they said, they basically said the same things, which was their rose-tinted spectacles were strongest for their gaming. Towards the beginning, Jerry was probably a little bit further down the road, but certainly John and Ben, I think it was like right at the beginning. There's a lot of fresh experiences, and everything's focused on the interacting with the games, interacting with the new experiences. And I was thinking that sort of represents what we were talking about with this, which is the play experience feeds so much of the hobby that if you try and put the collecting part first, then it's difficult. Even if you get it done, I don't think it's as rewarding, is my point.
Just as a side note, how long ago did I print you that dwarf bust? 18 months at least?
Yep.
It wasn't long after you came back from Scotland, and it's still sat there unprimed?
It's got some primer on parts of it. And
but
it's
again,
actually...
Do you see my point?
Yeah,
because that's
I do.
a collection piece, it doesn't motivate you to do it.
No.
Both of us have setups where you've got it shown on yours, mine's downstairs in the lounge, but both of us have a cupboard that we can put finished shit in and put the lights on in it.
Yeah.
And it looks good. You chop and change yours around a bit because you've only got a finite amount of space. I'm still filling mine.
Yeah.
But it's exactly that. Mine's in my lounge, and actually, when I'm thinking about it, I don't spend a lot of time in my lounge.
Right.
Like, it's mainly the weekends that I spend in my lounge. So it's not actually a motivator for me.
Yep.
Having bits and pieces, like my desk at the moment is a shit show, boys and girls. Some of you would argue, how the fuck do I work like this?
I think they've seen that from your desk cam, mate.
Yeah, but I've got fucking paints everywhere. I've got Bloodfields, Mutant Year Zero, Warcry, Dwarves, Assassin's Creed, Dungeon Saga Origins, Wild West Exodus, Mythic Battles Ragnarok, just on my tabletop. Random 3D prints scattered to the four winds. Oh, and some Gaslands cars as well.
Just
I've got
icing on the cake.
I've got all of that around me and surrounding me, but I love it because if I get sick and tired of something, like I've just got sick and tired of painting the fucking canvas bedrolls on these dwarves, I've just put them down and I can pick something else up and get on with it. It's still progress towards a goal. It's just that the goals chop and change and they're disparate for me. But that's the kind of environment that I thrive in. Oh, and Flames of War miniatures on my desk as well.
This is where you and I differ massively. If I get too much unfinished stuff in my eye line, it starts to stress me out and I don't do anything. If there's only a couple of things on my desk, I will probably pick one of them up and work on it.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'm looking at my desk at the minute and I'm thinking those spiders need to get out of my sight because I'm getting sick of looking at them. But it's that aspect
So,
of it.
Richard.
That aspect of it. Hi, Rich. That aspect of it is very unique to the individual, I think. Trying to find your hobby motivation is something that we've spent a lot of time talking about. And obviously it's not just the gaming dimension. There's a ton of other things that feed into it.
I shoehorn in a topic
Yeah.
that's becoming more and more common in wargaming and
Before
stuff
you
now.
do that, can I just ask Darren a question? So Darren says there, we were talking about the golden age thing that I mentioned. Darren says ours was probably in the mid to late 90s when we were playing at the drop of a hat, which was what I sort of felt when I was in my late teens and I just had nothing to worry about other than playing with toy soldiers. That's when it was best. And then he says, although the hobby was best during COVID when he was painting the most, presumably because of lockdowns and being isolated socially. Out of those two, Darren, does one take the title of Golden Age, or did you find both just as rewarding? Just out of interest. Do you want to carry on, mate?
Well,
what
just on that
topic
note,
were you going to go into?
I'll go to that in a second. My golden age is probably actually since we started this stream.
Oh, right.
And the reason being for that, I'm just going to shoehorn this in now. It's actually the time I've been most productive, been playing games, etc. And particularly since you came back from Scotland.
Yeah.
Not to sound soppy, but when you came back from Scotland, my productivity and everything else just fucking skyrocketed. And it's still going up and up now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean at the moment?
Oh, yeah,
like
definitely.
You even said to me earlier in the year, I don't know how you're doing what you're doing and producing what you're doing at the moment.
Yeah, the thing is as well, it's a real noticeable step change in your whole approach. I mean, the results are one thing, but I think it's the approach that's changed. You're just doing everything differently, aren't you?
Yeah. But the topic I was just gonna spam. I'm just third wheeling again. All I'm saying, babe, is the ear hole, and I'm leaving it at that.
Brokeback.
Yeah. But flip this on its head. Topic to shoehorn in here.
Yeah.
Playing or collecting. There has been a real advent of solo wargaming modes.
Yep.
So if you don't have a club or you don't have friends, you now kind of have an excuse to use your toys that you've collected over the years if they're serviceable for the correct type of game in the solo mode. Do you know what I mean? There's that aspect of it that's on the rise, on the increase. It's becoming more and more common for games to go, oh, we've got a solo mode. Yeah, okay. But, and this is kind of another topic all in of itself, but because it's solo, you don't necessarily hold yourself to the same standards as you do for a co-op game, like me versus Paul.
Well, it sounds
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, are you talking about in terms of delivering on the experience, of the immersion?
Delivering on the experience, delivering on the immersion. Again,
well, Darren seems to have cracked it.
No, but again, this is just me and my hot take on it.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, oh, well, I can cut a couple of corners here because I don't. Nobody's going to be pissed off if I turn up with grey treasure chests that are virtually the colour of the map that I'm using.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I totally get it, mate.
If I'm playing with you or Ricky or whoever at club, how many times have we asked, where are the treasures on the map? For my little grey treasure tokens that are still unpainted? Do you know what I mean?
That's true. But again, to be fair, I'd be even worse. I don't think I could ever paint or play a solo war game. If I want a solo gaming experience, I will sit down with Farming Simulator or
Arkham Horror.
some old Assassin's Creed or Tomb Raider game, or play the Arkham Horror living card game. I don't think I would ever do a solo miniatures game. And the reason for that is simply that's not what I want out of it. Do you know what I mean?
It doesn't hit the same, does it? That's the thing.
I want the social interaction.
It doesn't feed
No.
the same
No.
to play with yourself as it does versus playing with friends. Does it?
No. Darren saying nostalgia means probably the mid to late 90s was his best time.
Right, where's my deck pan?
That's, you see, now that, Darren, I'd be, yes. If like, we said this when we deliberately played our last Frostgrave campaign co-op because it was super hard and I really enjoyed it. Absolutely, the key for me in wargaming is the other people. If there's no other people, I don't see the value in the wargaming experience the same. It's too much work for the reward. If I'm on my own, I'll just turn the computer on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I do not... I suppose what I'm saying is that I actually find wargaming quite hard work, which explains... and which
But again, it leans back to your collectorism over...
Again, I really love playing the games. The hobby side of it is a massive fucking chore that I have to do to play. And I don't mind that as long as I've got the other people. Without the other people, there's no way I can muster the arseness to do any of this stuff. Because the only other thing is, though, you are right. The collecting thing, I have got that collector bug. I mean, Jesus Christ, the way I used to be into collectible card games and
I was about to say, shall we just throw out the Game of Thrones CCG here?
All of my fucking folders and chasing the rares, I loved it. But I think the realization I'm coming to from the first few months of this year is that this is something that I don't want in my wargaming. I don't want that collect everything for the sake of collecting everything mentality there. I don't like it. It seems futile. Is what I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say here, dude.
Yeah.
And again, it's a tough one. I touched on it the other...
Toasty has basically said exactly the same as me. He's got games that have built in solo mode. He finds himself disinclined to play them and rather plays games with friends. Unpainted minis be damned. Yeah, totally agree, Luke. Totally agree.
I touched on this the other week with my 40k still being sat there and feeling bad about it not really progressing or doing anything and just being sat there.
Spam.
My missus, boys and girls. My missus.
Yeah, so Crispin's saying quite interestingly, he's cutting back a lot, down to 2 Patreons, doesn't do so many Kickstarters, because you're quite into the digital stuff as well, aren't you?
Yeah, well, you say that,
Crispin.
but again, like I said to you, I have cut back lately.
Yeah, you've done the same.
I'm just picking up what I...
How are you finding cutting back, Crispin? Has it sort of like revivified the hobby for you, or is it just like one of those things you had to do because it was just a waste of resources? but it hasn't necessarily changed anything. Because again, obviously you've said there you're not necessarily as focused on the playing, I don't think, are you? You're very much a projector and a builder and a that sort of
Did
thing.
anyone mention 6-foot billion sunships?
Yeah, so Crispin says it's just life shit getting in the way. That's fair, mate. I mean, as I say, oh, okay. No, that's fair enough. He had a death in the family and it stopped a lot of stuff. That's fair, mate.
It's
Yeah. I mean,
I know we've
you'll
kind
get
of
back
got
to it when you're ready, buddy.
again. I know we've kind of gone off topic here and off piece slightly.
Well, you say that. I don't think we have. I still think that it's like talking about the golden age of gaming. I think that actually there is a thing here where we have to ask ourselves, what's driving the car? Is it the collecting, the buying shit, the capitalist fucking indulgence, the shelling out the cash for the new shiny? Is that what's driving the machine? Or is it the experience? It's like, again, there is this thing as well about gaming. Here's something else, right? It seems to me that we do things in this hobby that we wouldn't do with any other thing. How would you go on to Amazon and buy 12 DVDs and then never watch them? Would you go and buy, I don't know, a load of fucking music and then never listen to it?
This is true, I suppose. It's
Do you know what I mean? Why do we do it with this stuff? Why does the collecting, why just the owning of it, why is that enough?
actually is this something to add here? Because this is quite a physical hobby in the amount of time and effort that goes into it. Similar to like crochet or wool, do you know what I mean?
Right.
You've got some mad cat lady who crochets a shit ton of stuff as her hobby.
Yeah.
But she's got all of this wool and crochet material just sat there, not really doing a lot because she's had this idea, she's bought it.
Yeah.
But again, she doesn't feel bad about it because it's just material, and if she gets out of it, she can just flip it all on fucking eBay. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think
And there's
that
that
happens? Does that happen?
It probably doesn't happen, but they're convincing themselves. Whereas I think both me and you would be very distraught at the idea of selling our grey shit on eBay.
But again, that's something that a lot of other people are a lot more relaxed with, and I have to say I respect the shit out of them. If for those people who buy the thing, get buyer's regret and say, do you know what, this is madness, it's got to go, and then ship it for 50%, whatever, 60%, totally respect you. The problem with me is when I'm committed, and I can't let go of the shinies. Can't do it.
No, but again, it feeds into that collectorist aspect of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I suppose that goes to reinforce why, for me, the correct strategy was don't buy the shit in the first place. Knowing full well I can't get rid of it, just don't buy it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's not bad. We're coming up to 10-2. So we've given that one a good workout. Let us know what you think if you're watching
we all
along later
start
on YouTube.
raving loonies.
Yep. As I say, if you want to comment on the core premise that, you know, there is a sort of like underlying tension between collecting and playing games, at where you are in that sort of like relationship or on that balance point, put that in the comments down below. The other thing that I think is fair to say that David and I haven't really touched on tonight, but to be fair, we did discuss when we were discussing this topic pre-stream, is that there are some people. We are talking specifically about the whole gameplay dimension of tabletop gaming. There are definitely people who just collect miniatures in the same way that there are people who collect Gundam kits, action figures. There are people in the role-playing sphere that will have bookcases full of role-playing books that they never intend to play with, but they just collect the books. And obviously, I think there must be those people who do the same with our sphere. They just buy the kits with no intention of ever working on
again,
them.
here's a hot take that again we mentioned pre-stream, but we didn't take here.
Toasty says, I'm probably not the best example, but I do have video games I've bought and never played.
We have said, actually,
Ooh.
there's not really many feel buds when it comes to board games for us. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a discrete purchase, because you can just crack it out, there's way less overhead, way less stress involved. It's a much nicer experience. I don't know how you feel about it, but because there's less workload involved in getting a board game to the table, particularly when it's brand new in box and you've just got to pop it out of all of its cardboard.
Yep.
Even if there was board games that I had bought, collected, whatever you want to label it as,
Yep.
and I hadn't played them, I don't think I would feel as bad because I know that, if I crack that out, pop it out, I can get playing it within 30, 40 minutes.
Yes. That I know exactly what you're saying.
There's a huge amount of overhead in getting an army ready for a game.
Yeah. And even if you're talking about single piece miniatures and using them unpainted, the just the fact that you're going to have to prepare some sort of terrain set and table.
It's no small feat, is it?
It's certainly a hell of a lot more work than unpacking a board game, even for the first time, to play it. And even a convoluted board game like Gloomhaven or,
We don't mention Gloomhaven.
So, yeah, the other thing that's I am glad that I've got the few board games that I've got, and I think they're a nice thing to have in a tabletop hobby collection, because sometimes you need something to fill a space in time where miniature wargaming is too much effort for the time that you've got available. And board games are handy to have. But I tell you what, I'm never going to be a guy that's got like a stack of Kallaxes with 200 board games in. They just don't do the same thing for me with compared to miniature games.
I think mine's my collection impulse and just my lack of impulse control. My absolute, I must buy all the shinies. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've half-assed played a game of Voidfall since I bought it.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I'm going to feel bad if I get to Expo.
Yeah.
And I've not actually properly played a game of Voidfall.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. You're going to start to feel guilty.
I'm going to get the sweats and feel guilty that I spent 90 quid on a board game and it's seen the table once in a half-assed effort. I really should be doing some more with that, but I do have time to get that one from under my skin.
Yeah, do you know what? You still only own, 4 or 5 board games? Everdell.
Voidfall, League of
Yeah.
Infamy, Everdell, Dungeon Saga Origins, Assassin's Creed, Rebirth, God Tier,
God Tier doesn't count
Underworlds. Why does God Tier not count?
because it's a miniatures game.
No, but by the same breath, the other month were arguing God Tier is a board game, not a miniatures game. You can't have it both ways, you twat.
Yes, I can. I can do exactly
Anyway, I'm
what I
painting
like.
you little. I'm painting you, and I've missed a trick here because he should be bright fucking ginger, and instead he's nutmeg brown.
Right. Do you know what was quite shocking? I was looking at the comments. We've got Rich saying he owns tons of DVDs he's never watched. Toasty's got computer games he's never played. So it looks like I'm wrong. It looks like everybody just loves buying shit that they're never likely to do anything with. Yeah, but the point I was trying to make, Darren, is did you buy them knowing that you would never assemble them? Or did you buy them with the intention that you would, but you just got distracted or demotivated? Pandy says, I did buy some stuff to help me grow my hobby in the future. But again, I'm guessing, Paul, that you bought that stuff on the understanding that you're going to put the effort in at some point. You didn't sort of like, because I'm sure, I mean, again, if you're watching along later at YouTube, on YouTube, call me a liar if you like. But I'm sure there must be people out there who go down to Games Workshop, buy a kit that's, I don't know, 150 quid or whatever fucking ridiculous money Games Workshop want for a fucking 10-man sprue unit anymore. And then take it home and stick it in its cellophane on a stack of other boxes, pretty much 100% knowing they're never going to do anything with it. And they're still fine with that. That's the transaction for them, owning the stack of shit and going through it and going, ooh, shiny. That's the job for them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you're trying to say.
Paul says, no, I sold it for future profit. It was great. That's cold. That's absolutely stone cold, Paul. Fucking brilliant.
Boys and girls, have we had a productive evening? Because it's 10 o'clock. We will have to be leaving soon.
Yep. I've had a pretty good evening. You know, it's not often I get my hobby done, but I've actually got, there's just the crowbar to finish on these guys, which is a bit of black paint. That and a bit of wash. So I've had a pretty good night, mate, to be fair. What about you?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Got 12 guys' capes painted. Well, and girls, because there's girls in the squad. Got the levers finished on all of my miners. Got all of the bed rolls painted on the miners. And I'm now moving on to facial hair. And we're going to have a bit of a selection in this squad. So we're going to have some white beards, some blonde beards, some brown beards, and some black beards.
Yeah, just look. Don't go too fucking hard mode. A couple of colours is fine to break things.
Yeah, but again, across the army, everybody's going to have like a little bit of different facial hair. I'm not going Skittles factory in the unit and doing.
Do you know what you
4
should do?
different shades of brown.
Listen. You should utilise a little trick that we've used before. Pick a base note and 2 or 3 different washes so that you can keep your paints.
No. And the reason I say no is because all of this is on top of the blue undershirt and the snakebite leather. So it's going to be a complete and utter cunt to wash because it's above it all.
Right, okay. Right, okay. Let's end this stream there. On that bombshell that it's all too much fucking work. Let's end the stream. Thank you very much for watching tonight, guys. We hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you very much for our supporting cast over here in the comments. It's brilliant when you guys drive the show with us. It makes it all the more enjoyable. if you can only find time to do one thing, click the like button. It helps to drive what is a 2-hour fucking
Epic.
rant of bollocks in the YouTube algorithm. And let's be honest, it needs all the help it can get. If you can find time to do any of the other stuff, share, comment, subscribe, that's yay fucking awesome. But do what you want to do. It's your YouTube. You do it your way. All we ask for is the like. And I guess, with that done, it's about time we went on our merry way for another week. And we'll see you again next Thursday for some more nonsense.
What's the crack? What's the crack next week?
Oh, I don't know.
Same time, different
Yeah.
topic.
We'll be here. We don't
Bye,
know what we'll be
boys and
doing.
girls.
See you later.
It's another Thursday night. I see Crispin's wearing tights. Sparrow's getting in the bath. Young David's full of wrath. Paul is tightening his straps. Where on his apron you saps. Technical difficulties. They're really such a crime. Technical difficulties. They happen all the time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop 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 time. Cheese meat is on day release. Dan still tries not to crease. And Ewoks keeping nice and warm. In bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the handyman is opening up the can. Technical difficulties. They're really such a crime. Technical difficulties. They happen all the time. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop 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 time. Cheese meat is on day release. Damn Chef tries not to crease. And Ewoks keeping nice and warm. In bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the handyman is opening another can. It's Yellow Belly Tabletop time. 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 Cheese meat is on day release. Damn me up tries not to crease. And Ewoks keeping nice and warm. In bed with Russian uniform. Meanwhile, the handyman is opening another can.